guys, Cyanide here. Thought I'd just do a quick video to talk about a few things. We'll call this cyanidetube, the times are a-changin', part deuce. I was watching a video the other day, Josh on RC every day. He was talking about his builds and the process he has, and how when he was doing some of his rat rods, he found that when he was pushing himself to do the builds, he was not happy with the results, and that really rung a bell for me. And so I thought I'd do it because I have a similar problem, really. It's when I started this channel, it's kind of changed a wee bit, especially after the 10,000 subs and that. I kind of feel I gotta keep on keeping on, sort of thing. And it kind of ruins it a bit, you know. Originally this channel was a means for me to show my hobby and share it with others. It wasn't the driving force of the hobby. It was an extension, sort of thing. And the more I've got into doing the build videos and things like that, and had subscribers build up, I've kind of felt like I've had to appease the viewers. And so when I go through these low points creatively, I kind of feel I still got to put something out. And what Josh was saying the other day on this video, thanks Josh, I was enjoying that. It made me realise I need to reassess and get back to what I was doing before, which was the hobby, enjoy the hobby, doing the builds and the creative stuff, and the videos will come in their own time. So I kind of had this thing where I tried to do a video a week just to keep it cracking, but yeah, it doesn't really work. Life doesn't really work like that, does it? So what I'll probably do is, of course I'm going to keep on doing the videos and things like that, but I'm not going to try and do a video a week sort of thing. I will when the going's good, but when I'm feeling, like when I was doing Fat Betty, totally different scenario. I didn't do the videos on that build at all. Very few of them. I had a build thread on the RC Sparks forum, you know, and I could take 4 months off of that, no problems. You know, there was, for me, there was no expectation. So, and you know, it didn't bother me at all to just put it aside, bugger off and do something else. So recently I've been doing, well, what else was I going to cover with this? No, that's pretty much it. The reason why was that I was in a bit of a funk, you know. There's some dirty words that people don't like to use, like depression and things like that, but that's the human condition, man. And when the energy's not there, it's not there. So, and if you do try and push yourself too much, it's like Josh, you're just going to have crap results, and you're not going to be happy with it, because you're just doing a thing to do a thing. And hobbies aren't about that at all. That's called work. That's a job. So actually, exciting news about my job. I'll get on to that now. In a previous video, I was kind of mentioned I was changing the way my employment's going to work. I was in talks with my employers. So what that amounts to is I've dropped down to a 2-day week, and the reason for that is because post-cancer treatment, I don't know when that was, 2013, so it's 5 years or something like that, I don't know, but it's taken a long time for the penny to drop, you know. I was getting more and more feeling like I'd gone through all that stuff and I was right back in it where I was before, doing my 9 to 5, 5 days a week. Nothing changed, you know. And it's, yeah, it just seemed off to be spending 5 out of every 7 days doing something doesn't really float my boat that much. Good money, you know. It's an interesting industry to be in, IT, but I'm not into it anymore. Computers are just a tool, and that's it, you know. I ruined that, you know, when I was younger I was into gaming and a geeky sort of cat, but nowadays that stuff it's just a tool and a job. That's it. That sort of stuff doesn't excite me at all. Anyway, I kind of felt like I was doing myself a disservice, you know. It's like, well, you went through that and you're just doing the same old shit. You know, it's kind of stupid. So a friend called it being time rich, and I thought, oh, that's exactly what it was. I wanted more time. I'm very aware of my mortality these days, you know. I'm not running around going, oh, doom and gloom and shit like that, but I just don't want to give as, you know, because to me a job is like you're hiring, unless you're doing something you love. And it's like, you know, when I was talking to my employer about this, he is super passionate about what he does. It's his company and he's on it all the time. He works crazy hours. And I said to him, I want to feel what you feel, where I want to do something where it's not a job. It's what I love doing, sort of thing. So, and for me, it's a job, you know. I was straight up, and he's cool. He understood all this, and so we got through all that through the board and got me down to a 2-day week. So I'm skimping on what I can get out of 2 days, but I'm a much happier cat man. I'm much happier doing 2 days a week working. It's a world of difference, you know. It's been about a month, I suppose, and at first it wasn't noticeable, but I think I notice it now, you know. So and you guys might be thinking, well, if you got all that extra time, why is these builds just sitting on the bloody table and not getting worked on? You know, shit, man. But how much time do you need? But nah, I thought that would be the case. I thought, oh sweet, man, I'm going to have all this time to work on these builds. It's going to be, you know, giddy up time. But I've hardly touched them. I've been doing other stuff though. I mean, this hobby room was about one panty sniff away from being a hoarder's nest, you know. It's shit up everywhere. So I spent a few days cleaning that, dumping a lot of stuff, reorganising the RC parts and things like that, because I'm not into this hoarding carry on. I mean, nah, if it's no good to you, why hold on to it? So, you know, a lot of boxes and just stuff I wasn't using, out she goes. So that's good, you know. Clean it's you make a space so other stuff can come in. That's the way, well, I believe it's the way the universe works, you know. If you're holding on to stuff, there's no flow. It's like a flowing river, you know, or a stagnant fucking pond. So yeah, I've been doing other things, peripheral things, cleaning up this mess, you know, doing a little work on the CNC machine, doing a shit ton of work out in the yard, because I figured I needed to change my headspace, because when you're in a funk you get your wee blinkers on and, you know, you can't see your way out. So you got to change your focus, basically. Your focus determines your reality. I've said this before and I fully believe it. And so I thought, well, heck, you know, if I'm in a funk, I need to get outside, get some sunlight and do some physical activity, you know, work the yard, top the trees, throw it through the shredder, things like this. It buggers me out, but you need to generate adrenaline and things like this, you know, get moving. So this is basically if you have been down similar paths, you know, this is about managing depression. This is what I'm talking about. It's being aware of it and managing it, you know. Psychosis is part of the human condition. We all have it, we all go through these things, and it's how you recognise it and deal with it, you know. You don't want to keep on going down and getting into a dark place, because the further down you get, the harder it is to get out, because it's a habit, it's repetition, you know. So if you feel like, well, I feel when I feel like I'm getting into a funk and I twig on to it after a while, I go, oh, hold on, what's going on here? I'll, you know, purposely change my thought pattern. You slip back into it, it's a habit, and you just repeat it over and over again. It's like training a dog. Your brain, it's lazy. And you just keep on doing that until your focus changes. And then, you know, things change. Not everything's a big drama anymore. So it's a little bit off topic, but you know, these are the root causes of things like a lack of build videos, a lack of enthusiasm for doing builds. I mean, it's crazy, man. I've got these great toys here, I've got all the tools. What's wrong with the cat? You know, he's just looking at him, not doing it. And it's, you know, it's your yeah, it's your brain and your emotions and things like that. But always be checking yourself, man. If things aren't right, you know, just change your thought patterns. It's your brain, you control it. Don't be a slave to your thoughts and your emotions. And take control, otherwise you're just a bloody robot or an animal running off of instincts and things like that, you know. No. If you want to be a human being, you've got to make the effort to run the show. That's what gets things done. So yeah, what else? Less videos, but chances are, because I've been getting active, getting outside, we've got more sunlight now. It's winter, you know. We're coming out of winter and we're moving on to spring, and I know things are gonna just the energy changes, you know. It's good. So less videos, but chances are there's going to be more videos coming after I've done this video. So it's like I'm kind of talking about stuff that's already happened. I am going to do a video today, actually. I've been busy in the yard, and I do a day in the yard, and then the next day I sleep all day, because physically I've junked myself because of the fatigue thing. It's mainly to do with the surgery, actually. Nowadays it's not radiation or chemo that affects me, it's the side effects of the surgery. They did a number on me, man. I had no idea how much that would affect me. But when you're between a rock and a hard place, what do? So you live with it, don't you? You get on with getting on, you develop ways of dealing with things. So yeah, I'm gonna get on and do a video after I've done this one, which I'll release later in the week. And yeah, that's it, really. Cheers for watching, and I will keep on with the build videos. They just might not be every week, you know. I felt bad because, you know, I've got channels that I really like, and I'm excited to see their videos, and you know, if they go quiet, I feel a bit bummed out. It's like missing your favourite TV show, you know. And I know I've got not a lot, but out of 10,000 subs, there might be 100 or so of guys that are, you know, really interested in what I'm doing. So that's who this video is for, basically, just to let you know it's it's not permanent. I'm slowing down, but you know, I'll be back. And you know, it's sometimes I feel that perhaps I need to change what I'm doing. You know, I've been in this hobby for a while now. This build here has been 1.5 years in the making. Fat Betty was 2 years. I'm a slow burner. Sometimes the mind wanders. Sometimes I think, well, maybe I need to get myself a real car, a bit of a wreck, and tinker on that, you know, just to switch things up. But I get a bit excited about shit like that, but then I remember the space issues, there's cost issues, things like that. The hobby's easy, man. This hobby's easy peasy Japanesey. You know, I can fit a car in the room here on a desk, and it costs sweet bugger all. Wow. We know how expensive the hobby can be, so perhaps not sweet bugger all. You could probably build a real rat rod for the same cost. If that thing cost me $1,000 in parts, you could probably build a real one for that, I suppose. Anyway guys, I'll leave it at that, because otherwise it's just a waffling video. It probably already is, but you know, if you guys are kicking back and just want, if it's like a little conversation, you know, sometimes when some of the fellas that I watch, they just get on there and just talk about life instead of the RC, because at the end of the day we're all human beings behind the RCs. You know, the RCs is a nice thing, it's a conduit for connecting people, but we're people and we all have the same highs and lows and frailties and things like that. You know, some of us do live with depression, and it's good to hear other people talk about it and express their coping mechanisms, you know. So it's yeah, about being self-aware. Always be checking yourself, and if you find things too hard, you reach out. That's what you do. Anyway guys, I'm going to go and do an RC video, and I'll post that later in the week. Catch you later.